Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show with your host, Shikama. Somebody brought up a very good point, and I welcome that people are trying to protect me and trying to make sure that I am understanding. I think people get the correct sense that I'm not a worldly guy. I don't drink, smoke, and party and stuff like that. That I am business, and being business. Sometimes the world does pass you by, sort of like when you're in college. You know, if you're a real student in college and you really study a lot, you know, it seems like the world sort of passes you by. You're not aware of certain things, and I appreciate people trying to protect me, and I appreciate people looking out for me. I will never, ever tell you, don't look out for me, because I need it. I mean, it's true. Some things I just don't know. I don't know righteousness. I don't know drugs. I don't know drinking. I don't know partying. I don't know the latest horrible rap song that talks about this, that, and the other. I had to ask so many people what drinking lean meant. I have like a 40 response thing on my Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook in the information box below. And it seemed like everybody came out the woodworks to explain to me what drinking lean meant. Don't worry, I got it now, so I don't need any more definitions. I think it's a little bit crazy. But anyway, somebody brought up a really good point. And then I had to explain to them that I understood the point. I understood about the Jada Pinkett Smith versus Janet we're talking about, and that each one had different. And I said, well, you know, I understood each one had different points. But here's my point of this video. There is a hunger. Specifically in the Black community, there is a hunger. You can see it. Black people are hungry to start their own thing. They're looking for somebody else to kick it off. And I'm over here cheering, going, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. But some people simply feel that they need to be. I'm saying you don't need it, but some people feel that they need to be led into starting our own Black thing. But that's not the only hunger that's out there that I can recognize. There's a hunger for real education, for real knowledge, not the stuff that they teach you in school, in elementary, in high school, and in college. Real knowledge. Now, allegedly in college, you're supposed to, you know, break off with the indoctrination and actually learn some stuff. But no, they pulled a whammy. The NWO has taken over the colleges too, the universities. You don't have the real definition of the African university. And that's where the first universities originated, I would say, of maybe the word isn't university in African, in Ghanaian. It's not even Ghanaian. It's or Tree or Ga or Ashanti. Maybe that's not the word for it. But the first universities were in Africa, not Europe, not the Middle East, Africa. The Europeans called them mysteries, the mysteries, which meant it was education to the next level. There's a thirst, a hunger for real knowledge. And little Black boys hugging on white men, there is a thirst for real fathers. And it really sickens me that there is a bunch of Black women out there. And I know so many of you are going to try and disagree with me and blah, blah, blah. And, well, these men are no good because that's what you've been told. But they're forming groups now of fathers who can't get paternity. That these women are using the court systems to keep them away from their children. Yes, Black men. I know a lot of you take it hook, line, and sinker. You buy it hook, line, and sinker that Black men are this, that, and the other, no good, lousy, blah, blah, blah. Black men are forming groups to get the laws changed so that they can have their children. I'm sure CNN, MSNBC tells you all sorts of horrible stuff of, oh, these deadbeat dads. What about the deadbeat women who don't work at all? They've got 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 feet, 2 hands. Reminds me of that song, I'm Here, right? Black men are forming groups, national groups, to try and get it changed so that they can get custody of their children. And I see Black boys hugging on white policemen, garbage men, postmen, just any man that comes into their sphere. And the single mom is doing all that she can to keep the actual father away. And the boys are just crying out. Just like you read the story about the kid that draws the horrible pictures. And then finally somebody realizes, hey, this kid isn't drawing these horrible pictures because he likes drawing horrible pictures. There's something going on in the house. And the horrible pictures are his soul bleeding out on the paper, trying to show you something is wrong. So you see the pictures of the little black boys hugging the postman. Something's wrong. That kid is hungry for a damn father, his father, and not a substitute father. And now let's back up from just the black community. There's a hunger in this country for real morality. Oh, you think that's funny? You think that's insanity? I see it. Enough with the Miley Cyrus crap. Enough with the Justin Bieber. Enough with the Nicki Minaj. There is a hunger for the sweet girl, for the girl next door, the guy next door, the soda shop, the sock hop. People are starting to bring that entire thing back. Nobody asked them to. Even the punk rockers are switching over to that look. And if you say, are you punk rock? Yes, I'm punk rock. We even have a straight edge movement. No drinking, no sex, no drugs. There is a hunger for the kids are trying to tell you. And as much as NBC, CNN, CBS all try and say, oh, these kids are nothing. These kids are forming groups saying we're not going to do drugs. But the news, and people have even shown you, the gurus, the black gurus, the white gurus, have shown you that it's the news that's showing you, all of this cocaine, kids, cocaine, was found in a Chicago basement. All of these kilos of it. Cocaine is said to give you this awesome high, kids. This such and so person died of crack cocaine. I know you've never heard of it, but let me report on it for 30 minutes. Oh, we'll be back. We're going to do an entire year series just on crack cocaine, kids. I know you've seen those documentaries. And kids are forming groups saying, we don't want drugs. We don't want booze. We don't want premarital sex. We don't want premarital sex. Huh? That's kids. These are the kids that people are trying to throw away, saying that, oh, this generation has nothing going for it. I think you better take another look, dude. Sir, ma'am. There is a hunger for decency. And meanwhile, the politicians are trying to, sometimes I get in this mood and I watch stuff from all over the world. And there was a guy screaming bloody murder because he thought that his son had died in a gas attack in, where? Syria. Anybody watching that video would be moved to crocodile tears. The guy was beside himself. There was people carrying him. He thought his son was dead. Who did the attack? It wasn't the quote-unquote Syrian rebel army. We did the attack. So you have a video of a whole bunch of brown people and a guy you can identify as the father of this little tiny boy, besides himself with grief. But we're made to think of all of those tan, off-white, brownish, and of course, blackish people to be the enemy. The enemy of who? I'm sorry, but I think the generation coming up is going to do away with all of that. And there's nothing that the NWO, Illuminati, or whatever, there's nothing that they can do to stop it. There is a hunger in this country for decency, for good food. More than likely, the people requesting the organic, heirloom, non-processed food are going to be the age of 30 and under. They're not set for this TV dinner. The whole idea of the TV dinner being invented was to get mom out of the kitchen so she could have some rest. Oh, and mom, since you have all of this time and you don't have to slave over a stove, why don't you just come work for our corporation, mom? Oh, mom, since you're working for our corporation, why don't you stop having those children? Because that whole maternity leave stuff it just really stops your career. Doesn't it, mom? Well, those days are over. Mom wants to be in the kitchen now. The pinnacle for women in the workplace is actually going down, even at the CEO level. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. You can't have it all. I know there was a book saying you can be CEO and have 4 kids. That's ridiculous. And there's women who say, well, he's going to stay at home. Somebody's staying at home. He can stay at home because he's a better human being that can stay on the job and get promotion after promotion after promotion after promotion because he doesn't have to, although I know Obama just said that he's going to push for paternity leave, equal maternity and paternity leave. This means that you don't have to promote those people. So the man who stays at home also doesn't get promoted. Because if you're consistently on the job, you get promoted. First of all, you get better at your job. And if you don't take breaks, like those pesky pregnancy and maternity leaves, you're there the whole time. You get the promotion. If you don't understand that as a couple, as a married couple, there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with anybody else. There's something wrong with you. The man is the best person to bring home the bread. If you care about your family, and I don't mean your mom and dad, I'm talking about your legacy throughout the annals of time, from this day forward, your children and your children's children and the children of those children, the children of those children. It is best to send the man off to work and work and work and work and work and work. And then he dies and leaves all the money to all of you. Hopefully you don't hate each other and fight over all of the money, but it's supposed to be yours as a family. You're not supposed to fight. And you're not supposed to go, oh, he left the toilet seat up. I think I'm going to divorce him because there's a no-fault divorce. So I can divorce him no matter what and take half his money, but you don't get half. Yeah, I know they keep telling you you get half. You don't get half. I believe the state gets half. And if he has to pay you child support, the state gets some of that too. And the state gets some of the court fees. And if he makes any arrangement, they get some of that too. There's a fee for that. And there's this fee for this. And there's a fee. So you think you're being greedy. You've actually destroyed what wealth your family, which you're supposed to be a part of. And there is a hunger for good relationships. Oh, I know that we have the women's movement, which says kill all men. I have a woman on my channel saying that point blank, kill all men. And I know you have the white movement, the MRA, and the MGTOW, another white movement, men going their own way. Oh, I know you have those movements, those groups. I know you have that, but there is a hunger for good relationships. No man wants to be without a woman, and no woman wants to be without a man. And if you tell yourself that they do, there's something wrong with you. You don't get it. You don't understand why you're on this planet. You're not here to be selfish. What could you possibly tell me that is better than you getting married and having children, growing old and having grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and just everybody sitting around your bed as you lay dying, telling you goodbye? What could be better than that? Oh, let's think of your world where you're lying in bed and you just die. Miss Independent Woman? Mr. Man going his own way? What could, your scenario is better? There is a hunger for good relationships. Now, of course, when I say good relationships, I mean it's both parties. There is a hunger, and there's a hunger to be able to trust people. The state has pitted you against each other, man versus woman. Now, I keep telling you that that's not an issue in the Black community. When Black people get married, they stay married. Even today, not 60 years ago, today. That's why I say all of these movements are white movements, because they don't apply to Black people. Now, Black people suffer from actually needing to see that put in front of them, because all of the entertainment venues all say that Black people are ratchet. that black women don't get married, when the opposite is true. They even say, oh, black women who get education don't get married. The exact opposite is true. In fact, I've already given you the data that says undergrad, I think it's like 60% get married. Master's degree pops up to 70%. Doctorate's degree pops up to 90%. Why? Because they understand the benefit of being married in the United States in 2016, 2015, 2014, 2012. They become wiser and wiser with the more education that they get. Black people suffer from an image problem. That's why I try and put before you the best possible images of black people so that you can see, oh my God, there's a loving black couple on the screen. Because what else is there? There's the ratchet woman saying, I'm going to take half and I'm going to take the kids and you're going to have to pay $2,000. $2,000 for what? A baby? Even diapers aren't that expensive. And you don't get all of that. You get a portion of that because you let the government take the other portion. If you're going to be selfish, why don't you be so selfish that you don't get divorced? That's what a real selfish person does. She weighs all of the pros and cons. Well, I need my freedom. You need your freedom for what? Every time I'm in the car and I see women walking by themselves, I like, you are a fool. Where is your man? And trying to bring on a 4-foot wide baby carriage onto a bus. Where's your man? Where's your minivan? What are you doing? Well, first of all, you made some bad life decisions, but you can recoup this. You can find yourself a man and get married. I don't need a man. Yes, you do. Humans need humans. If you don't need a man, why don't you go live in the mountains by yourself if you don't need a man? Because what you're really trying to say is that you're not human. Then you don't need humans. Screw you. Go in the forest. Go live by yourself. That's what you're saying, being an idiot. That's what you're saying. You have got your mind so twisted that you don't understand that you're saying that you are not human. Humans need humans. I don't care what any of you all say. We are a herd animal. There's plenty of dances I've been at. Boys standing against the wall, girls sitting at the tables, dance floor empty. I step out, here they come. I've always been a leader. Not that this is just some fantastic example of leading, but I've always been a leader. Because I know humans are a herd animal. They don't want to say, even in the United States, where we are taught to be quote unquote independent. In Japan, they definitely are a groupthink sort of society. A lot of their innovation was stymied because of their whole groupthink sort of method of doing everything, including business. There's a hunger for good relationships. There's a hunger to trust people. There's a hunger for fathers. There's a hunger for good knowledge. And for black people, there's a hunger to go our own way. The Italians have gone their own way. The Jews have gone their own way. Pennsylvania Dutch, the Amish, Mormons, all gone their own way. Japanese, Filipino, Chinese, Asians in general, gone their own way. There's a hunger for it. This was the response that I saw in the commentary from the viral video from Jada Smith. Yes, we need to do. Yes, I mean, it's just begging, just pleading. Black people need to go their own way. I'm saying we can do it. We don't need Jada. We can do it. If I get 2 pennies to rub together, I'll do it for you. I'll lead the way. I'll go onto the dance floor first. Okay? And I will bring all of y'all along with me. But I'm telling you, you don't need me. You don't need Jada. Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show.